Hi, Lisa Marie of Global One Health. Here I want to talk about loaded carries. There are a few variations of loaded carries that you can do, but I'm going to talk specifically in this video about the farmer carry, and in subsequent videos I'll address the other variations. Now, farmer carries are not something that people might readily think about putting into their programming. The reason why I like to pepper them in is they have a very important place in terms of addressing grip strength. And why I think that's critically important, if you really break it down, I'm going to quote something from Pavel, who is the guru in kettlebells. He started Strong First organization, formerly of RKC, but he kind of brought kettlebells from Russia and made it mainstream in training today. And in his opinion, in an article he wrote, he addressed, if you really break down the three most basic muscle groups that you want to have strong: core, obviously that connects the upper and lower extremities to each other. It's how your shoulders and hips are connected through movement and through stability. The prime stabilizers of the trunk, pelvis, spine, and shoulder girdle is the core. Secondly, the glutes, right? So the glutes are the largest muscle group in the body, but they are major stabilizers of the pelvis and how it relates to the lower back trunk to the legs, and prime movers in terms of squat and deadlift when you think about those two main basic movements that involve activation of the glute complex. So you want to have number two, your glute strong, and three is grip strength. I had an interesting statistic in a seminar I was at where they said that the number one reason, in part, why people go into nursing homes is their ability or lack thereof to maintain enough grip strength just to do basic functions in daily life. Open up jars, turn doorknobs, things like that. So if you lose grip strength, which does decrease with age, that can lead to some other major issues. But you think about heavy deadlifting, yes, you need strong glutes and a strong back and core to do it. But you have to have a certain amount of grip strength. And for me, having had 3 wrist surgeries, my grip strength is my Achilles heel. So it's something that I'm continuously working on. You need to have grip strength to support the weight of the bar in deadlifts, pull-ups as well. You have to have good grip strength. So farmer's carries are the most basic way I introduce loaded carries to my clients. And then the other variations I consider progressions. So we'll start with the farmer carry today. So farmer carries can be done just standing in place. You can add a march. You can walk in the farmer carry is the basic way. But even just standing, holding the weight is how you want to get started. So a lot of people don't like them, I think, or don't use them because they think, it's not functional. Yes, there's no joint mobility involved in a loaded farmer carry, but that's not what you're doing the drill for. You're doing it specifically to isometrically contract the structures of the body and load your grip. So, in talking about farmer carry, I'm going to use, of course, you can use a trap bar as well. The hexagon-shaped bar that you step into is another variation that you will see people doing loaded carries with in a gym setting. You can do single arm, double arm. Double arm is a bilateral load, so it's more symmetrical. I find single arm is more challenging on the core, and we'll talk about that shortly. So if I'm going to use my kettlebells, again, how I pick them up, I'll show you from a side view, matters. So even though the focus is on the carry, quote, how you pick up the, I don't want to just bend over and pick up the bells like that. So always be conscious of your setup and moving into how you transition into and out of an exercise. To me, is equally as important as your form within the exercise and the reps themselves. So just as if you were going to do a deadlift or a squat type pattern, right? Go into your hip hinge so that before you grab the weights, you're thinking about driving the legs into the ground, and I talk about this very often because it's critically important. Drive your legs into the ground, corkscrew them, contract the muscles of your legs, your core, grab onto the handles, and don't stand up until you lock in and you know that your core and your lats are fired in, you're corkscrewing, just like you're going to stand up. So lifting the weights off the ground to get into the farmer carry is just as if you're doing a deadlift. And I've already posted how to do the basic position of a deadlift already on my channel. So here in the farmer carry, I'll just show you from a few different angles. My shoulders. The key thing is you don't want the weight, right now I'm using 12 kilograms, you don't want the weight to pull, right, your arm. I'm doing it with control, but you wouldn't want the weight to pull the shoulder head forward in the socket. You don't want to lift up like this. It's not a shrug. You want to make sure, and from a posterior view, that you're packing the scapula down and really working the grip. So the key here is you want to clench the handle of whatever you're holding. Of course, dumbbells can certainly be used here. I have more kettlebells here at home. But you really want to think about how much I am trying to break the handle, right? So again, be mindful how you put the bells down as well. Keep everything engaged until the weight is fully supported by the ground, is always the safe way to approach that. So the key thing is isometric contraction throughout the structure is really one of your primary focuses in a farmer carry, is that you are engaged isometrically throughout the quads, hamstrings, glutes, the core, the back, spinal erectors, the mid-low traps are what pat the shoulder blades down, and your grip strength. Then from there, once you own that position, you can then walk with your bells, and there would be your farmer carry, like basically representing how you would carry the milk pails, right, if you were farming. So that is the farmer carry. It is the most basic variation of a loaded carry. Loaded meaning you're adding weight and you're carrying it around. Now the suitcase carry would be a single arm. So here, again, I grab it the same way I would if I had two arms, two bells, and I just stand up. Now the key with a single arm farmer carry is to not let the weight pull you out of alignment. So this is much more challenging on the core structure because you're asymmetrically loaded, right? So when your unilateral weight in the hand there, I'll show you this side, might be easier to see, right? You want to focus on keeping the integrity of the alignment and not allow the weight to pull the body into side bending or to not let a lateral shifting happening in the rib cage. You want to use the abdominal wall, but the obliques are going to get much more load when you're doing a single arm carry. So of course you can walk with that, and there is your single arm farmer carry. And I mentioned marching, so if you want to, another variation of doing a loaded carry is you can march in place. Again, keeping with single arm or double arm loaded. So the key again is that you're maintaining a nice neutral spine and that you're not shifting from side to side as you lift up your leg, really maintaining that integrity of that spinal alignment. So those are the two basic variations that you can do for the farmer carries. Again, pepper them in, great for building grip strength. The way that most people like to use them in their programming is you set either a distance. I'm going to farmer carry the bells for 20, 30 feet, and then change arms and come back if I'm doing single arm, or I'm going to go the length of a certain distance, or you could set it for time. I'm going to see if I can farmer carry this weight for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and then increase the time increment to build the strength endurance isometrically throughout the body, and especially for the grip. So again, put them in your program. They're great. They will definitely help you to, as a supplement, use them to work towards improving your deadlift. To the end of the day, no matter how strong your glutes are and your hamstrings and such to pull the bar off the floor, if your grip strength is severely at a deficit, that is going to affect your ability to pull heavier in your deadlift if that is something that you're working on, right? So give those a try, and please do put them in your programming. So those are the farmer carries.